TitanReach, a game that was supposed to be a third-person game inspired by Runescape, recently nuked all their socials, leaving early game supporters stranded and confused. The game went from running out of funds to supposedly finding an angel investor willing to fund the entire game to now shutting down abruptly after a Discord announcement a few months after finding this angel investor. As someone who's created 2 videos on this game and caused thousands of people to join the TitanReach server, which is now deleted, I feel like I should be making a video covering this. This is a game, albeit far from launching, everyone that was involved actually wanted to succeed. So whenever you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So after the Kickstarter failed, TitanReach resorted to cash shops and other forms of crowdfunding. Now eventually, this simply wasn't enough and the funds dried up, despite some people donating or supporting the game with thousands and thousands of dollars. You can still see these people on the TitanReach website. All of these funds were supposedly used to develop the game, and in a later news post it was said by Unravel that he could not refund the money as it was used on development. And this is not a surprise, since that was the entire point of crowdfunding. This was not an investment for people, this was an opportunity to support the game's development in case it would ever release, and if it did release in a playable state, they would get membership, pet skins, titles, and all that stuff in return. While they did have free-to-play early access sessions, it's also worth noting that they had to sell closed alpha access in bundles ranging up to $100. I believe the cheapest was $50, but that's still a lot of money to be testing a game. That shows how desperate they were for money. They ended up raising about $200,000 through crowdfunding, but this simply wasn't enough and the funds eventually dried out, like I said earlier. Only a few weeks later, they pinged everyone saying they had some exciting news. TitanReach had somehow been fully funded by some kind of angel investor. I quote, "Someone very kind has funded this whole game out of the kindness of his heart, no strings attached. It sounds too good to be true, but it is true." End quote. Now I'm not sure about you, but no strings attached for someone funding a game? Probably hundreds of thousands of dollars? I don't believe that. It doesn't matter how rich you are, but you don't just throw away hundreds of thousands of dollars and not care about what happens to it. I don't believe that at all. After being funded by the investor, which we don't know anything about, all relevant communication through Discord pings and website updates ceased to exist. Until yesterday, this announcement was posted a few minutes before the server and other social platforms being deleted. The post basically says it's closing for good, the reasons are private, we're going to be closing the Discord in 7 days, oh, and we're working on some kind of blockchain, NFT technology garbage as well. What happened to it just being a normal MMORPG? Like, where did this blockchain garbage come from? And why would you suddenly delete every single community page you built on for 2.5 years? So I went looking for answers, and eventually I was able to get a hold of his old staff, other developers who had left earlier, and Unraveled, the founder himself. Now, according to him, he deleted the socials because he was doxxed. His real name, address, face, and so on were publicly available, and he wanted to avoid the spread of it throughout his community. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but let's say I was doxxed, I wouldn't delete my own Discord server because the same information would be shared in a different server anyways. This is not something you can stop once it has started, and according to him, he just didn't know how to handle it, and that's why he deleted the socials, which is kind of believable if you suddenly get hundreds if not thousands of people that are angry at you and you have no experience dealing with that, but it's still somewhat suspicious. The reason they were talking about blockchain stuff was apparently because it was unsustainable to use other funding methods unless they went full cash shop. According to Unravel, the investor knew about this as well. Somewhere before the shutdown, an employee by the name of Echo apparently stole $250,000 from the investor by impersonating Unravel on the official TitanReach Twitter. He was apparently threatened with jail and gave it all back, yet the investor let him keep $50K. So someone steals $250,000 through some kind of crypto wallet, or you accidentally send the wrong person money, and then you don't want all the money back. But who would ever say that? That is the most unbelievable thing I've ever heard. Alright, imagine for a second, someone steals your wallet. You have 500 euros, dollars, or whatever in your wallet, and you find the thief, and you say, you know what, keep $50, I'll take 450 back, and we'll call it a day. Just take anything in this video beyond the actual servers and socials going offline with a massive grain of salt, because someone is lying here, but I don't know who. Alright, let's get back to TitanReach. The game was fully funded, right? Without strings attached, which I obviously don't believe. And then, the funding was cut. How does a game that didn't need more than $1 million to complete the game in the first place, spend $1 million, be fully funded and backed up by someone, suddenly shut down with the funding being cut? The only reason Unravel and others that I talked to were able to give me is that it's personal, it's private information, he signed an NDA or something. He isn't able to tell us. And I said to him, if you suddenly shut down all of the socials and things related to your project, you're vague about what happened to the funding, people are going to make up things themselves because there's a mystery aspect to the story. There could be so many different reasons and aspects to the funding being cut. Something we'll never know because he won't tell us. Now, because a company extract was leaked, his personal information is out there, and because of that reason he's getting doxxed and perhaps threatened by people. But if his personal information is already out there, what is there left to lose? Clear things up by telling people what happened, and, you know, if nothing bad happened, that should clear things up, right? Admitting to a mistake or failure seems like a far better option than being seen as someone who dipped out, maybe round the bag. Fraud, I don't know. Now it gets even stranger and more unbelievable, and that's why I said take this with a grain of salt, because I don't know if someone is lying or not, but he said he was in $300,000 debt because of TitanReach or something, even though he was fully funded. Huh? According to a company extract that was leaked, Square Root Studios was a proprietary company limited by shares, meaning the shares are privately held by the owners of the company, and the risk is limited to the amount of shares and how much they paid for them, which means he isn't legally responsible with his personal finances for any business-related debt. So I believe even if there was company debt, his personal life wouldn't be ruined because of it. That being said, he did mention getting a Tesla on a loan for personal use, which is obviously a terrible financial decision, but I assume it was because of lifestyle inflation due to the investor providing a good salary and him thinking he'd have that salary for years to come. He also mentioned getting an office space a week before losing funding, which is now, if I understood correctly, part of his debt. But I just don't understand why he didn't get that office space as part of his business or something. Then he wouldn't personally be liable for it. There's just too little context here to say anything about it, but I thought it would be worth mentioning anyway. I don't even know what this video is at this point. I can't believe TitanReach turned into this shit show. Whether or not Unravel is lying or not is not something I can prove with so little context, and honestly, we'll probably never know what really happened. The one thing I can tell you for sure is that this is the end of the road for TitanReach, and it will probably go down as yet another failed Kickstarter project. Most likely due to terrible people and financial management, multiple changes of direction, and dabbling its toes into crypto for reasons I do not know. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it interesting. If you did, leave a like down below and maybe even consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.